Happy Memorial Day. I don't know why I'm looking over here. I'm just trying to figure out if I got my camera right. Whatever, I don't care. It's just a YouTube video. Happy Memorial Day. I was at the coffee shop this morning, and so I'm going to talk about something that's not really based on war or anything, but I guess it is based on war in a sense, because it's always war on the mind. I was in line for my coffee this morning, and I asked a chick that is the best person that I've ever found to make really good coffee, and she works in the mornings on most days. I said, "Is there anything that you don't? Happy Memorial Day?" And she's like, "Yeah, I forgot. I didn't even realize it was a Memorial Day until just a few minutes ago." I said, "Is there anything that you really don't like to remember?" And she just kind of had this like deadpan look on her face and said, "There's a lot of things that I don't want to remember." And so I started laughing, and we started laughing about it. We shared some, a lot of us see things, especially when you're a kid, and you see things that will traumatize you depending on what kind of environment you lived in. So the hardest thing for her was seeing her dad smoke meth. She walked in and her dad smoking meth, and she just, those types of things traumatize you. And so I want to make a video and kind of move into why do memories traumatize us? And usually it's because we expect something from something that doesn't understand itself. Why would we expect behavior from something that doesn't understand what it is to behave differently and as though it knew what it was? If we all understand who and what we are, and it's the point of this video, and if you've seen my channel and you watch my other videos, then you'll know that that's the purpose of this channel, is to help you, the listener, understand who and what you are. Because all negative emotional states are based on a misunderstanding of who and what you are. Now, if space-time is non-local, now hear me out on this, because most people get lost when I say that. What I mean by space-time is non-local, it means that there isn't any separation from any point in space-time. That's why it's called non-locality. Something that happens here has an instantaneous effect on everything over here. It all comes from one point. If we expand and look at the galaxy, you can see that it's spinning around from one point. If you look at your own biofield, it comes from and goes back to one point, your heart. So the structure that's built within that field emulates the characteristics of the field that it's in. And everything has a heart. There isn't anything that you look at that doesn't come from and go back to one point. Doesn't matter how far close you look or how far out you go. And it's a structure in a field, which means that everything is a three-part being. It is source, Father, structure, Son, and field, Holy Spirit. I'm referencing the Bible here, obviously. If you're a Christian, if you're non-Christian, then it's what it is, right? People call it the Spirit, but it's the field that you're in. And you have access to the entire field. You are not the structure. You're not the field. You are the source, creating both. And so everything comes from nothing and goes back to nothing. It all comes from zero and goes back to zero. But it creates everything that you see. So in a sense, we are everything and nothing at the same time. Which is why miraculous healings often appear. And they look miraculous to somebody that doesn't understand that it's just coming from non-local reality. I mean, if everything is being created from one point, then you have access to everything. All you have to do is surrender to that understanding and then not try to force somebody that's not ready. So going back to the original thing I was talking about when it comes to negative emotional states, when we expect somebody to behave in a way that isn't congruent with their own understanding, then we'll get confused, and we'll get, if we have some idea of how something's supposed to act or not act, then it will have a negative impact on us instead of just letting go. One of the most powerful spiritual practices that you can go through is practice non-resistance to the energies around you, because it enables you to listen to where they're coming from and to when somebody is creating thoughts that are moving emotions, structure moves energy. So your thoughts create the emotions in your mind, and the thoughts create the structure in your body, which is why you hold those emotions in the body. They're actually thought forms that become structures. Then they do become structures. Then that's the way. Why would you expect it to act any differently? We're all creators and creator at the same time. There's only one, but it looks like an infinite number of them because it has to for us to experience ourselves. Otherwise, we wouldn't experience anything. We'd be nothing. So I just wanted to cover this topic on Memorial Day because it has to do with memories. And you want to remember things in a loving way. And there's nothing wrong with people going to, graveyards and remembering, the fallen soldiers. The people were acting out of a state of their own understanding. And so it's important to understand that people are just trying their best. And if we don't understand who we are, and believe me, I'm always learning things, but I always fall back onto that basic thing. And it's something that I feel like I'm here to teach in a lot of different ways. Because if you don't understand that thing, then a lot of times you'll fall into negative emotional states around the decisions that other people are making. And if you're doing that, that means that you're falling into negative states about your own decisions. And in order to really grow out of that, you have to just let it go. Deal with the emotion, let it go, and understand we're just a structure in a field, and we can create whatever structures we want. So, yeah. There's nothing ever to be sorry about. And there's no debts that need to be paid. Because the only debts, people hold each other in debt because of what we've just been talking about. So, I think I've covered enough for today. It's 11:11 on the clock. Love you guys. Happy Memorial Day. And I'll catch you in the next video.